Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhakti pranams.
Hare Krishna, pranams. I was just wondering if anyone able to hear or not. It's pin drop silence.
Yes,
No,
Mataji.
we can
Hare
hear.
Krishna.
We can hear.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandat pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat pranams, Mataji. So anyone has done kirtan?
No, Mataji, not yet.
Okay. So is anyone available to do or?
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Shall we start, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, yes Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanacha Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradha Yashodanandana Brajajana Vanjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Shri Radhe, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhava Tume Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदामह्यं ददाति स्वापदाङ्कितं नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्या देशतारिणे वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं मुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्णं पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सतम् Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranams.
Thank you for
Hare
sharing.
Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Pranams. So we are doing this third canto, chapter 31st. So 31st chapter name is what? Anybody knows the chapter name?
Moments of the living entities.
Movement of the living entity.
Of the living entities, which is all of us. So Kapila Dev is telling these instructions to Devahuti, continuing and describing about movements of living entities, and it's going to be the end of this chapter today. These verses 45 to 46. We'll recite this now. Mataji, would you mind doing a little bit scrolling up?
Is that okay, Mataji? The Sanskrit and the...
Yeah, that's fine. If you can move a little bit up, I would like to see the meanings also. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Is anyone reciting the verse, or should I just recite it?
Mataji, volunteers are there, Mataji. First loka, if you want to recite, you can, Mataji. Then we will.
Yeah. द्रवयोपलब्धिस्थानस्य द्रव्येक्षयो गता यथा तत्पञ्चत्वं यः अहं मानात् उत्पत्तेर्द्रवदर्शनम् द्रवयावायवा दर्शनायोग्यता यदा तदैव चक्षुषो द्राष्टुर्योग्यता न योयः. We'll go to the translation. Someone read the translation.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Purport also, no, Mataji?
Yeah, purport also.
Okay, Mataji. Sarika Mataji, you can read the translation. Vasudha Mataji, you can read the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
When the eyes lose their power to see color or form due to morbid affliction of the optic nerve, the sense of sight becomes deadened. The living entity, who is the seer of both the eyes and the sight, loses his power of vision. In the same way, when the physical body, the place where perception of object occurs, is rendered incapable of perceiving, that is known as death. When one begins to view the physical body as one's very self, that is called birth. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Purport Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. When one says, I see, this means that he sees with his eyes or with his spectacles. He sees with the instrument of sight. If the instrument of sight is broken or becomes diseased or incapable of acting, then he, as the seer, also ceases to act. Similarly, in this material body, at the present moment, the living soul is acting, and when the material body, due to its incapability to function, ceases, he also ceases to perform his reactionary activities. When one's instrument of action is broken and cannot function, that is called death. Again, when one gets a new instrument for action, that is called birth. This process of birth and death is going on at every moment by constant bodily change. The final change is called death. The acceptance of the new body is called birth. This is the solution to the question of birth and death. Actually, the living entity has neither birth nor death, but is eternal. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, na hanyate hanyamane sarire. The living entity never dies even after the death or annihilation of this material body. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So yeah, we are trying to understand this particular section of Bhagavatam, where Kapila Muni's teachings to Devahuti, where it's making us to understand the importance of birth and death, which is going ahead. We are, 8.4 million species are there, and then there is a cycle of birth and death going on, vicious circle. We are all continuously going on with the kind of what is that? The vasanas we develop, and then the kind of impressions we have in our mind, and then the kind of bandhanas, means karma bandhanas, and all the bondages we are developing, they all will carry forward to the next destination, like that. So this is going on. So jivas, we learned previous verses, right, that their migration is going on due to fruitive activities, acts. Yeah. So like that, they wander on this earth according to, or enjoy in higher planets or lower planets according to their karma phala. So if a body has acquired some pious deeds, the body will get a better position in a higher planets, and then as long as the pious deeds are there, the body will have that particular destination, and after that finishes, then it will go to the next destination. Similarly, if the body has got impious deeds, then that will go to the lower planetary systems, and then have that kind of body which is not so conducive, and then go through those afflictions and then after finishing that kshine punyamartam lokam, right? So it is like that. So as you finish, you just fall down again to get to the other destination. So this is a continuous process. So what is birth? What is death? Is birth? Death means end of those reactions of the jiva's activities. Whatever there is no now when death comes, then the reaction of those particular whatever has supposed to be faced or has to be gone through that, and all is done in that particular body, and then death will come. When the birth means again taking up another type of reaction. So based on the deeds and activities and the karma and daiva netrana, you will get another body, and accordingly the birth will come, and then you will again face those reactions, and then the reactions starting and ending. like that. So this is so death is happening to the physical body. When we talk about death, it is happening to the gross body, the place where perception of the objects occur. And then when birth begins, then we view that physical body as one's own self. That is where birth starts. That means a birth to any one of us means we are identifying with the body. That's the birth. So in any particular species, we are in 8.4 million species. Birth means we are identifying ourselves with that particular body. So death means we are finishing that, going through those reactions and all, finishing that particular body. So here Prabhupada is in the translation we see, when the eyes lose their power to see color or form due to morbid affliction of the optic nerve, the sense of sight becomes deadened. So there is a particular optic nerve which it is actually helping us to have the vision. And then when that, the color eyes is losing the power to see the distinctions in this material world, the vision is getting lost due to the morbid affliction of optic nerve, and the sense of sight becomes deadened. So that means there is no more vision for us. So the living entity who is seeing all these objects in this material world which Krishna has provided for us with the eyes, and the sight loses its power of vision. So a similar way, when a physical body, the place where we are all trying, with this body, we are perceiving everything, whatever is provided to us, is becoming incapable. That is death. Is becoming incapable means that is death. So when one begins to view the physical body as one's own self, it's called birth. So like I said, birth means identifying ourselves with this body, any body we have taken. Death means that particular body which is trying to perceive the objects which are in front of that in any place, time, and circumstance, and that is becoming incapable, no more able to function, and all the reactions are done for that particular time being in that particular body. So like that. So when one says I see, this means that he sees with his eyes or with his spectacles. He sees with this instrument with the instrument of the sight. So that means what is it? When I say I'm seeing, that means the eyes are becoming instrument in seeing all the objects. If the instrument is broken, diseased, incapable, then the action will stop. So similarly, Prabhupada again emphasizing in the purport that in this material body, at the present moment, a living soul is acting. When the material body is becoming incapable to function, then the reactionary activities are stopping. And then when an instrument of action is broken, cannot function, that is death. So if you think about our day-to-day life also, from childhood to now, that's why Krishna said, no, that was from chapter 2 Bhagavad Gita. What is that? Where the soul takes different Dehi Yata Dehi. Yeah, anyone recite it? Who knows this verse?
Dehinosmin yatha dehe
Dehi
kaumaram
kaumaram
chara tata dehantaram prati dirasakanam.
Yeah, so that means, they are going through 6 different stages, right? Who knows those stages?
From the infant to the boy, then the childhood, then the boy, then the old man, then death. That's it.
Yeah, the soul passes through one body to another body, from boyhood, an infant, to boyhood, to youth, to old age. And then after that, soul passes to the another body. And there is another verse now where it is says that 6 bodies will happen. What is it? What is that verse which we have?
Sorry, Mataji, couldn't.
Vasamsi Jirnani Mataji.
Vasamsi Jirnani, is that the one?
Yatha vihaya navani grahani naroparani tata sharirani.
That is like, correct, but that is if it is like changing bodies, is like changing our clothes and all that. Yeah, but there is another verse in Bhagavad Gita which says about the 6 different stages of the human form. What is it?
That is only, no, Mataji. Dehi nosmin yata dehe kaumaram yovanam.
Na jayate mruyate va kadachin.
Nayam
Nayam
bhutva
Ayam bhutva
bhavita va na
bhavita
bhuyah
bhutva
ajo nityo
ajo nityo
shashvato
shashvato
yam
yam
अयं
purano na
पुरुषो न
hanyate
हन्यते
na hanyate
हन्यमाने
hanyamane
शरीरे
sharim.
हन्यमाने शरीरे.
Yeah. So just before this Vasam Sajinani, 20th verse. So it says the body undergoes 6 changes: birth, existence, growth, producing byproducts, dwindling, and death. This is happening. Soul doesn't undergo these changes. Only the birth will undergo these changes, right? So before verse 20th verse, soul never dies there. Yeah. So this goes through 6 different changes. So here Prabhupada clearly gives. Yeah. See, the body is subject to 6 kinds of transformation. It takes its birth from the womb of mother's body, remains for some time, grows, produces some effects, gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes into oblivion. So that's where the death is. But the soul is not going through that. Only the body is going through that. Yeah. So it's just like a coconut shell. We have that green coconut, right? Coconut has got a outer body, and then there is a hair, and there is a shell, and there is a fresh coconut inside and water inside, right? So when we leave this body, that means the gross body. That just like how um, we don't want to have that outer part and then the hair and the husk, all that, right? We want only the fresh coconut and water. The fresh coconut is like a soul, and then that particular water is like our devotion to the Lord, or like that. So here the body is going to, soul never dies, and then soul is not born, but soul is eternal. But because soul is transmigrating from one body to another body because of our various carry forward effects in this particular body, which we have that remnants, which we desires are not fulfilled. Then we still have that loading over capacity, material, loading over nature on the on this in this material world. So then that's when another body will come. So here in this particular purport, what Prabhupada is mentioning that Mataji, would you mind going to that purport, that 45 to 56, 45 to 46? Yeah, when an instrument, the death, yeah. So again, new instrument of our action, that's called birth. So this is what happening. Vasamsi Jirnani, next verse. As a person gives up old garments and accepts a new garments, the soul similarly gives up the old and useless bodies and attain new bodies. So if you just recollect in our own life, if we had now we've passed through that particular stages, initial stages, right? That birth pass through, existence little bit through, young youth pass through, and then we grown, we are grown up, and then producing products also pass through. Now dwindling stages, maybe most of us, or I don't know. So like that, yeah. So when we are small, we would have come across, I mean, young age, when we were studying in the school or college, we would have come across with our friends. Now how many of us are in touch with such friends? We don't know, right? Where we are. We may some may have, some may don't have the contact, but the point here is that it's only stays temporary. So those people whom we met for some time, we were there together for some purpose, and then we got disconnected. Now our next situation came in our life, and then we get connected to other people, and then I just got disconnected. Now another stage come, we get married, and then our other family comes, get disconnected. When the marriage happened, then you go to a different family and you get disconnected with your people whom you studied even up till 20 year, 22 year, 25 year, little bit disconnects. Then you go to work, they are different people, and then leaving the work, going to different work also a little bit. As in when you change your position, your situations in your day-to-day life also, you notice that, right? There is something, connection is happening, disconnection happening, connection, disconnection. So there are people whom you are developing some relationship, and then you are leaving them aside and going to next, like this it's happening. It's just that whatever we are destined to stay with them in that particular position, or in that particular situation in our body, we are connected and then getting disconnected. So that this similarly, the process of birth and death is also same thing. It's just constantly changing. The process of birth and death is going on at every moment, like Prabhupada says in the birth, by constantly bodily changes. So you can see the constantly bodily changes, different, we cannot perceive because we don't know our body in previous life. We don't know what's going to happen next life. But definitely we want, being sincerely trying to practice, we want to go back to Krishna and serve him in whichever situation we are in. But the final acceptance is change. Change of the body is the death. So according to, in devotees language, death means nothing but changing one's own service. So we are always on the platform of what? We don't want to attach ourselves with the body, right? We don't want to identify ourselves with the body. That is what we are trying to practice, because you start identifying with your body, then that's when you are connecting with the body and trying to, transform to another body and like that. So we don't want to. That's the problem starts for birth. Birth means identifying with body. Now we don't want to identify with our body. We want to identify not with us, but we want to understand that we are not the body, we are the basic thing.
Soul.
Servants.
Soul.
We, that is what we understand. So for a soul, there is no death. Here, final change is called death, but that death is for the body. Acceptance of the new body is called birth, and then not rejecting or leaving the existing body is death. But for us, we are not on the bodily platform is what we are trying to learn. So as long as we are not in the bodily platform, we are considering ourselves as a part and parcel, fragmented, eternal part and parcel of the Lord. That gives a solution to birth and death. Because we are not the body, we are the soul, and soul is eternal. Soul cannot be cut into pieces, soul cannot be withered by wind. What is the other thing? Soul cannot be burned into ashes, right? Soul is eternal. There's no death for the soul. So then living entities has neither birth nor death. That's what Prabhupada says. Actually, the living entity has neither birth nor death, but is eternal. And that is what confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Nahanyate hanyamane shrire. Living entity never dies, even after death or annihilation of this body. So we have to understand we are never dying. We are only dying in the sense that we are changing our service position. We know this body, we are trying to serve the Lord in one particular way, in whatever Lord is allowing us to do. The next body, wherever Lord take us, our main intention is to serve the Lord. So whether he asks us to serve in the Golok Vrindavan, that's our desire to go back. When we go back in the spiritual world, we try to serve the Lord there, whichever way Lord allows us in any of those 5 loving exchanges, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. If we just get to that point, if not, Lord will send us in some other universe where we will continue. We want to continue serving the Lord. So it's a change of service is what is death for a devotee. And for a soul, there is no death. Only for the gross body. Yeah. So the subtle body, mind, intelligence, false ego will carry forward with all our desires into a different body. If we keep on identifying ourselves with the body. Yeah. So shall we go to the next one?
Hare Krishna. Swati Mataji, you can read the shloka. Sudha Mataji, you can read the translation. Shilpa
Hare
Mataji, you can read the purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Tasmanna karyas santaraso na karyapyan na sambramaha buddhva jiva gatim dhiro mukta sangas chared iha. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji pranams. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Therefore, one should not view death with horror, nor have recourse to defining the body as soul, nor give way to exaggeration in enjoying the bodily necessities of life. Realizing the true nature of the living entity, one should move about in the world free from attachment and steadfast in purpose. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, did you call out my name for purport?
Yes, Mataji. Half you can read, the other Mataji with the name
Hare Krishna.
Shanti Mataji can read the other part. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Other
Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A sane person who has understood the philosophy of life and death is very upset upon hearing of the horrible, hellish condition of life in the womb of the mother or outside of the mother. But one has to take a solution. One has to make a solution to the problems of life. A sane man should understand the miserable condition of the material body. Without being unnecessarily upset, he should try to find out if there is a remedy. The remedial measures can be understood when one associates with persons who are liberated. It must be understood who is actually liberated. The liberated person is described in Bhagavad Gita, one who engages in uninterrupted devotional service to the Lord, having surpassed the stringent laws of material nature, is understood to be situated in Brahman. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is beyond the material creation. It is admitted even by impersonalists like Shankaracharya that Narayan is transcendental to this material creation. As such, when one actually engages in the service of the Lord in various forms, either Narayan or Radha Krishna or Sita Ram, he is understood to be on the platform of liberation. The Bhagavatam also confirms that liberation means to be situated in one's constitutional position. Since a living entity is eternally the servitor of the Supreme Lord, when one seriously and sincerely engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is situated in the position of liberation. One should try to associate with a liberated person, and then the problems of life, namely birth and death, can be solved. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Shanti Mataji can read Mataji from here.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. While discharging devotional service in full Krishna consciousness, one should not be miserly. He should not unnecessarily show that he has renounced this world. Actually, renunciation is not possible. If one renounces his palatial building and goes to a forest, there is actually no renunciation. For the palatial building is the property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the forest is also the property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If he changes from one property to another, that does not mean that he renounces. He was never the proprietor of either the palace or the forest. Renunciation necessitates renouncing the false understanding that one can lord it over material nature. When one renounces this false attitude and renounces the puffed up position that he is also God, that is real renunciation. Otherwise, there is no meaning of renunciation. Rupa Goswami advises that if one renounces anything which could be applied in the service of the Lord and does not use it for that purpose, that is called Falgu Vairagya. Insufficient or false renunciation. Everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, everything can be engaged in the service of the Lord. Nothing should be used for one's sense gratification. That is real renunciation. Nor should one unnecessarily increase the necessities of the body. We should be satisfied with whatever is offered and supplied by Krishna without much personal endeavor. We should spend our time executing devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That is the solution to the problem of life and death. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So what Prabhupada is telling here in the translation, therefore, we should not be too much concerned about the situation of death when it comes as a horror. This don't be. There is no real birth and death. One should not be horrified. So there's no birth or death as such, because the soul is eternal, and one should not be horrified with the death situation, because it's miserable. And then, why we should not be horrified, miserable, or eager to enjoy in this world? Because there is no birth or death as such to the soul. It's just eternal. So one should not view death with this kind of horror. So, and then because this is what, we are trying to identify and then eager to enjoy in this world. That's why. And then other one, Prabhupada is telling do's. What is that do's? Understanding one's real spiritual nature. That is, we have to understand. We have to understand our realizing the true nature of the living entity. That is do's. In the translation, you see don'ts is the first section and do's is next. What we have to do, realize that we are our true eternal spiritual position, which is Jivere Swarupe Hai Nityere Krishna Jas. That is what our position is. So that position, if you understand, realize, you should move on in this world, but we should move with free from attachment, and we should know the purpose of our form. That's the purpose of human life. Goal of human life is to attain go back to the spiritual world, attain that eternal constitutional position, and get rid of this conditional position. Right? We are all in conditioned in this material world. How much ever we want to get rid of this entanglement, we still can't. We just again think about too much of conditioning happens to us, and then it's becoming hard for us to liberate. Unless you don't think of yourself as a body, you keep on relating everything to this body, and then that's why conditioning keep on increases. You come out of that conditioning, then your unconditional nature will come. That's important. So here, a sane person who understood life and death, they gets who understood the life and death is very upset upon hearing the horrible condition of when the life in the womb of a mother or outside of the mother. Who has understood the philosophy of life and death is very upset. But one who has make a solution to problems, but what Prabhupada is telling, you have to make a solution to this problem. You can't live like that. Now, when you know that this material world is dukkhalayama shashvatam, we keep on hearing, right? When we know that there is always miseries here, and then we have, Vaikuntha where there's no miseries, no anxiety, like that. But still we hang on here, try to find solutions to our problem. But we have to find a solution to our eternal problem, for our problem eternally. So a man should understand that the miserable condition of these bodies without necessarily getting upset. Prabhupada is trying to tell us that we should try to find out that what is the remedy for it. So remedy is what? Remedy is given in the purport only. He says one has to associate with a person who are liberated. So this is very true. When this material world, we want to achieve something, we want to become something, we have some aspirations, goals, and then we try to work towards it. But unless we have someone to look up to, or has got a role model, where that role model has got this everything, and then we are trying to reach out, trying to attain like that, that role model will help us to inspire more and more. So in our spiritual journey, Srila Prabhupada has kindly made an arrangement in the discipline succession. We've got a lot of his disciples where they are representing the Supreme Lord, and then they are following this movement faithfully, honestly, following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada and showing us the way. They are talking and they are showing both, and they are ready to take us also. So that remedial measure is there. We only have to associate with them. That's all. Actually, everything is already made for us. It is like when you say even Krishna conscious movement. Here from the initial days, it was scratch. Now everything is like a golden spoon in front of our mouth. Also, we are not able to accept it. It's becoming hard for us to do. But when we hear the glories of those devotees who developed, made it from scratch to this stage, then we should have some gratitude to accept. Because we are only accepting it, we are not struggling. When we see the other devotees, they struggled a lot in the moment when Prabhupada is there. So then Mahaprabhu, even Prabhupada mentions in one interview, someone asked, what will happen to this moment when you die? Prabhupada says, I'll never die. He said, I'll never die. And then that person got really astonished. Oh, you never die. And then Prabhupada laughed and said, yeah, I'm always there in my books. I'll never die. So in this golden age, Kali Yuga is not a golden age, it's an iron age. But 10,000 years of the Kali Yuga, first 10,000 years of Kali Yuga is a golden age. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just, advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he is widely distributed the Mahamantra far and wide without any discrimination. He gave us. And then he showed us the way how to lead this life. And we are not too far away from that. And then if you take up this process, and immediately it is assured that we are in the past tense of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, up till 10,000 years of Kali Yuga. And we have not even too far from that situation. So this is a beauty. We have got golden opportunity to accept and take it up. And then these associates of the Lord, now we see all the disciplined succession, whoever following the bona fide sampradaya, they're all liberated. And they're trying to show that how to be, I understand what is liberation, and they are trying to show us how they are liberated persons are doing. Like Bhagavad Gita says, one who is engaged in uninterrupted devotional service to the Lord. And they have surpassed all the stringent laws of material nature. They is understood to be situated in Brahman, that Brahma Bhuta stage. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatmam na sochati na kankshati. Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Adbhaktin Labate Param, right? One who is situated in that realizes the supreme Brahman and is becoming fully joyful. And then that person is uninterruptedly performing devotional service. That's the state where you start doing your service. When you attain this stage, is neither lament nor desires anything, is equally disposed toward every living entity. There's no enemies to him. No one is high or low. Everyone is equal to him. He sees everyone equally. That what is that in the second chapter also we have, no? What is he called? Second? No, not second. Fifth chapter. Pandita Samadarshana. Vidya Vinay Vyasa.
Vidya Vinay
Vinaya
Sampanne, Brahmane
Brahmane.
Gavanastini, Suni
Yeah.
Chaiva Sapate Cha Pandita Samadarshana.
Pandita Samadarshana.
Yeah, so they see like that. So in the Brahmabhuta stage, this realization or liberation is the final aspiration of a person, and from there the bhakti starts. Bhakti is beyond this Brahman realization. We all know, right? What is the realization in bhakti we get?
Bhagavan
The one
Mataji.
realization.
Yeah, so a pure devotee aspires for that. A pure devotee aspires for to do bhakti, pure devotional service unto the Lord. And that's when you attain this Brahmabhuta stage. That's when you start performing.
That is a Brahman realization first, Mataji. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a Brahman realization. From in Brahman realization, one never laments, one never desires, one is equally disposed towards every entity. In that
Hare
state,
Krishna. Padma Shri Mataji, kindly mute yourself, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
yeah, sorry, sorry. No problem. So in that Brahman realization, there is no kind of they are beyond modes, obviously, right? So they are beyond modes. So you transcend these three modes, and then you are liberated. Transcending modes means liberated, and you are in a Shuddha Sattva state. And in Shuddha Sattva state, you are not just only telling I'm Brahmasmi, I'm Brahmasmi. You are trying to try to work on it. You're trying to understand that all that Atato Brahma Jignasa is happened. You know what you want to know, what you have to do, and you will try to perform that pure devotional service to the Lord without expecting anything in return. That is uninterrupted devotional service, unmotivated, uninterrupted, constantly unmotivated. And surpassing stringent laws means this material nature has got three modes of material nature is there: mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. You surpass all that. And you're beyond these three modes, and then that's when your pure devotional services begins, it starts. So that's where you understand Supreme Lord, that you will attain Lord only by pure devotional service. And then you come to, when you completely understand Lord like that, fully in truth, and then full consciousness of understanding, then you enter to the spiritual world like that. And Krishna will not be revealed to everybody. He said in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Why? In 7.25 he says, he and his expansions or incarnations cannot be understood by any person who has by scholarly attainment or speculation. Krishna will be known only or understood only someone who is performing bhakti under the guidance of pure bhakta. Krishna will be known. Pure Bhakta is someone who is like, taking associate of someone who is liberated, like that. So she says, I never manifest to the foolish or unintelligent. By them I am covered by internal potency, and therefore they do not see me. They do not know that I am unborn or infallible. Yeah, so Krishna is very kind to everybody. He is actually there in every one of us as Paramatma. But how many of us are able to see Paramatma in our heart? Why we can't see Paramatma in our heart?
Because we are not good.
Because we haven't
not pure,
come out
Mataji.
of the attachment of
Lot
the
of anartha.
We are conditioned.
We are not so pure, Mataji.
Correct. We are not conditioned. We are conditioned. We have a lot of anarthas, and then all has to be cleansed, and that has to be cleansed with taking the holy name of the Lord. Lord's name has more potency. He's invested all his energies. Sishastakam verse says, right? Second verse of Sishastakam. Anybody knows? Namna
नामनामकारि बहुधाने च सर्व
तत्रापि
तत्रार्पितान्येन
स्मरेण
तस्मरेण
कालः
कालः
तादृशी तव कृपा भगवान् ममापि दुर्दैवमित्रसमियाचानुनानुराग.
Bhagavan Mamami Durdaiva
Yeah, so he has invested all his energies, potencies in the holy name. So we know holy name is stressed a lot to chant the holy name of the Lord is more purifying to us. So that purification process, Chetodarpanam, is happening. It has to happen, continue to happen, so that we will attain that Brahmabhuta stage, means transcend these three modes, not get attached to anything, neither lament nor desire. So the desire is a major problem. If you keep on desiring for anything, tinge of that desire also there in your heart, that's it. You are going to guarantee get a human, some other form of the species, anything 8.4 million species. So Supreme Lord is telling is beyond this material creation. We all know, right? He's beyond this material creation, and even if he is, he's a great creator, maintainer, and destroyer, we know is beautiful, is kindly providing all the facilities for us to enjoy independently because we have the desire to enjoy. He is providing us, but he is aloof from all that. He said in 9th chapter, right? 9th chapter, 5th verse, he says that he is aloof from all this. Created, but he 5th verse, sorry, he created, but he is aloof from all this. Yeah, so we need to understand that Krishna. You're going to the 5th verse, Mataji. Yeah. Nachamastani bhutani pashyame yogameshwaram bhutabhranda nacha bhutasto mahatma tabhavana. So where he says in the purport, if you see, see, Lord says that everything is resting on him. Matsani sarva bhutani. This should not be misunderstood. Lord is not directly connected with this maintenance, sustenance, everything. Sometimes, Prabhupada put a nice example. Atlas holding the globe on his shoulder. Looks like seems to be he's working very hard, holding this great planet. You can't imagine Lord like that, upholding this great universe. Although everything is resting on him, he's aloof. That's the beauty. He's aloof. All the planetary systems are floating in space. And that space is created by his energy only. That was when he entered into Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, is all empty, dark. And then he filled this, half of it he filled with his own perspiration. And he lay down there. And that's when the, inhaling, exhaling process, innumerable bubbles came from his, skin pores, and those are the universes. And he is aloof from all that. Although he's there, but he's different from space. He's differently situated. Therefore, Lord says, although they are situated on my inconceivable energy, I am aloof from them. This is the inconceivable opulence of the Lord. So we can't understand Lord's opulence like that unless we take the association of those liberated souls. And they don't have any lamentation or desire or equipoise to everybody. They don't have any attachment to this body. Yeah. So that's when it is admitted impersonalist like Shankaracharya, Narayana. Shankaracharya, that Narayana is transcendental to this material creation. So one actually engages in the service of the Lord in various forms. We all agree with this, right? Lakshmi Narayan, Radha Krishna, Sita Ram, perform. This is all services performed on the platform of liberation. So Bhagavatam also confirms liberation means to be situated in one's constitutional position. What is one constitutional position is Jivere Sarupehe Nityara Krishnadasa, living entity is eternally servant of the Lord. One who seriously try to engage in the service of the Lord like this, uninterruptedly, unmotivated. That's the first question answer to the sages, right? Save pumsam parodharvam, right? Anybody knows the verse?
Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato lokshajit ahaitu apritihata yatma suprasidati.
Yeah. So what's the first question of the sages to the Sutta Goswami? What is the ultimate good for the general populace? Yeah. And then that is this. Ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Uninterruptedly, unmotivatedly. One has to serve the Lord. Transcendental loving service to the Lord. And then you understand those, positions or eternal constitutional position or, either in a Shantaras, Dasaras, Chakyaras, to be only understood in that situation of beyond in the beyond these modes, transcend these modes, and then be situated in Brahman platform, and then you will understand position of liberation like that. So one should try to associate with a liberated person. Then the problems of life will be gone. That is birth, death. What are the other problems commonly to all of us we have?
Birth, death, old age, and disease, Mataji.
Yeah, that is gone. We are no more.
Adhyatma, Adi Bhautika, and Adi Daivika problems.
All those kleshas also are there. Yeah, so there are problems of identifying with this body. These are the other problems we get. Yeah, 3 miseries. So this particular situation, you are no more concerned when you are going to the, beyond liberation. This is not mukti. What is this? There is bhukti, mukti, and
Siddhikam.
bhakti. Yeah. So there, when you do perform bhakti, loving service to the Lord, you are not having this problem of birth, death, old age, disease. You're not concerned about, because you're not on the bodily platform, you're not concerned about your age. You don't know you'll get old age or, you'll get disease. No way, you don't have birth also. You don't have death also. You're eternal there. That's the nature of the soul. And you're eternal there. So in the spiritual world, eternally you will serve the Lord. If Lord want you to go somewhere and serve, you will be going without any inhibitions. Because you're not attached to that body. You will not be attached to that position also. That is what we have to learn in this material world, not to be attached to anything. Even attachment to the devotional service is also not recommended. Any service you do it, doesn't matter as long as you're serving the Lord, Guru, Gauranga, that's it. Yeah. So while discharging devotional service in full Krishna consciousness, one should not be miserly. So that, miserly means, like Prabhupada is telling here, he should not unnecessarily show that he renounced this world. So that means immaturely you don't renounce your things, like Prabhupada is telling, leaving the palatial building and going to the forest. Everything is belonging to the Lord only. What's the point? You are leaving this and going there. Our consciousness has to change, not our situation from one place to another place. Not that. Here. So if changing from one property to another doesn't mean that you are renouncing. Clearly Prabhupada is telling, okay, I'll go from 5 bedroom to 1 bedroom. Even 1 bedroom also you will be attached to the body only. What's the point? Yeah, that proprietor mentality should go. Renunciation is understanding that we are not lording over this material nature. That is real renunciation. That is, and what is that? Another thing Prabhupada mentioned, when one renounces this false attitude and renounces puffed up position, that he is also God, that is real renunciation. So, see, that is the problem we had. We really wanted to enjoy independently from Lord, and why I shouldn't get this prime position, or why I shouldn't be in the, what is that, in a limelight, or maybe like that problem we had, and envious of that we came here. So renunciation according to Rupa Goswami is what? Applying everything in the service. That is
Yukta Vairagya.
Vairagya. Yeah, so thank you, Mataji. Yeah, not this Falgu Vairagya. Falsely giving up and going, is not what. It's not falling. There's a Markata Vairagya is also there. There is a Smashana Vairagya is there. That is all false renunciation. Everything is belonging to the Lord only, and then accepting that everything belongs to the Lord, offering everything to the Lord. That will give you real peace. What is it? Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam, right? What is that verse we have in the chapter?
Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam Etinam Epitatam.
Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam
Etinam Epitatasam. Vyavasayatmika buddhi.
Ekeha Kurunandi.
Yeah, one thing, but I'm looking for another one actually.
Bhoktaram
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Swadam Sarvabhutam Jnanavan Mam Shanti Vrachati.
That's good. Yeah, that is what we have to do. Everything belonging to
Natvamam Shantamirchati.
Natvamam Shantamirchati. So that is what we have to understand, that everything is belonging to the Lord and offering everything to the Lord. Yeah. So that is important. So sense there's nothing for our sense pleasure. Everything for the pleasure of the Lord. Engaging everything for the service of the Lord. That is Yukta Vairagya. That is real renunciation. Using everything, even this laptop, phone. As long as the phone is used in the service of Krishna, use it. Otherwise, don't use it in an expensive phone which is having so many other apps, and it will distract you. Not engage you in the service rather than misuse your time. So unnecessarily don't increase the demands of the body, necessities of the body. Focus. Satisfy
Hare
whatever one
Krishna,
has.
Mataji. Your voice is bit low, Mataji, feeble.
Oh, is it okay? So yeah, Prabhupada is telling that. Is it okay now, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. On and off, Mataji.
Actually, for me, it was not like that. For me, it's fine.
Okay. So we should not increase the demands of the body unnecessarily. We should satisfy whatever Krishna provides, and then we should use it for Krishna, not for our personal pleasure, but for Krishna's pleasure. We should, Prabhupada says, we should spend our own time executing devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That is the solution to the problem of life and death. So each and every minute should be utilized properly for the service of the Lord. That is Yukta Vairagya. Krishna has given this time to us because Krishna is time. And if you don't use time properly, we are actually wasting Krishna's time. And our time, of course, and entangling more and more in this problem of birth and death. Yeah. So go to the next one.
Hare Krishna. Anita Mataji, you can read the shloka. Chandana Mataji, you can read the translation.
I think this is the last one, right?
Padma Mataji, you can read the purport. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Samyak darshanaya buddhya yoga vairagya yuktaya maya virachite loke charinyasya kalevaram.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Endowed with right vision and strengthened by devotional service and a pessimistic attitude towards material identity, one should relegate his body to this illusionary world through his reason. Thus, one can be unconcerned with this material world. Thank you, Mataji.
Padma Mataji, you can read the purport, Mataji. Hare Prashanti Mataji, you can read Mataji purport. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji, I'm reading. I'm reading,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. I'm sorry,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Here. Hare Krishna.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is sometimes misunderstood that if one has to associate with persons engaged in devotional service, he will not be able to solve the economic problem. To answer this argument, it is described here that one has to associate with liberated persons not directly, physically, but by understanding through philosophy and logic the problems of life. It is stated here, Samyak Darshanaya Buddhaya. One has to see perfectly, and by intelligence and yogic practice, one has to renounce this world. That renunciation can be achieved by the process recommended in the second chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Mataji, somebody else can read the second chapter. I don't mind.
Hare Krishna. Prashanti Mataji, continue.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Danut Pranam. The devotee's intelligence is always in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His attitude towards the material existence is one of detachment, for he knows perfectly well that this material world is a creation of illusory energy. Realizing himself to be part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, the devotee discharges his devotional service and is completely aloof from material action and reaction. Thus, at the end, he gives up his material body or the material energy, and as pure soul, he enters the kingdom of God. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, 31st chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Lord Kapila's Instructions on the Movements of the Living Entities. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. So yeah, so what Prabhupada is telling here, so we should have a right vision when we perform our devotional service. And then Prabhupada is also mentioning pessimistic attitude towards material identity. So that is, one should regulate his body to his illusionary world through his reason. Means we should not perform devotional service on the bodily platform. We should understand that we are only the instruments in serving the Lord. So, and here again, can you scroll down, Mataji, a little bit? Yeah. Yeah, I stated, Samyak Darshana Buddhaya. One has to see perfectly. Intelligence has to be used. Like we know that analogy from Bhagavad Gita, where we have mind, senses, intelligence, passenger, soul, everything, right? When we use the intelligence only, we can be able to control the mind, and then the reins of the horses can be controlled so that senses won't go run away everywhere. So we need to understand that renunciation is achieved only. What process is given in the second chapter of the first canto? Process of
Param
that bhakti, right?
drishtva nivartate, Mataji.
Huh?
Giving it the higher taste. Param drishtva nivartate.
Yeah, first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, second chapter.
First canto, Mataji.
So the stages of bhakti are there, na? There's Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Vajana Kriya. From 16 to 9, 22 verses, all there's a progress, how you progress in bhakti. So,
Which shloka is it, Mataji?
yeah, there are set of verses actually. So they are starting from, 16 to 22, all of them. So just quoting it to Mataji. So in detail, not one particular verse gives, everything is there. Yeah. So yeah, so the process is recommended there. So devotee has to be intelligent enough. He has to understand that he should not be too much attached in this material existence. Only that attachment is the problem to keep on coming to these bodies. Birth death problem is keeping on. So if he knows perfectly that this material world is just created by the Lord, but it's by his illusionary energy. Then he is not going to, realizing that we are part and parcel of the Lord. And then a devotee is interested in attaining his eternal constitutional position, and that is possible by performing devotional service and completely trying to be aloof from material action and reaction, just like how Lord is creating this illusionary material creation and trying to be aloof from that. The devotee also has to understand and be aloof completely from material action and reaction. This action reaction only causing another birth, death, like that. So this to end this material body or this energy, material energy, the soul has to transcend these modes and then come to the platform where not getting attached to the body, completely detaching from this material existence and trying to using intelligence and serving the Lord and gaining that eternal constitutional position. There the pure soul enters the kingdom of God. That's possible. Yeah. So it's a long journey. Just one human life form, one human form of life is given to us out of 8.4 million species, a very rare opportunity. Now we just have to utilize it without any conditions apply. Don't get conditioned so that, again you will come back better. So that's how Kapila Muni is describing movements of living entities is going on and on and on because of these bodily attachments. So getting out of this bodily platform is very important. Yeah. That's where we finish the chapter. It's easier said than done, but with practice, and with the association of the devotees, like-minded devotees, and every day we should. This is very important. Even Parikshit Maharaj also seek for only thing is what? If at all he has the next life, he asks for 3 things. Anybody remember that first canto, last chapter, 19th chapter? He says, "This is a beautiful." He asks for only 3 things. He says, I pray that it's for 1.19.16. This should be the aspiration of a devotee. Punascha bhuyat bhagavate anante rati prasangas chatad ashriyeshu. Mahatsu yam yam upayami srishtam maitri astu sarvatra namo dvijebhyaha. He says, offer again obeisances unto you Brahmanas. I pray that I should again take, if I should again take birth in the material world, I will have complete attachment to the unlimited Lord Krishna, association with his devotees, and friendly relationship with all. It is Maitri, Karuna, and what is that? Attachment to the Lord, Rati, and association with devotees, and friendly, Maitri, with all living beings. This all goes with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's also. So Mahaprabhu says that one should have Jivadaya, Namaruchi, Vaishnava Seva. Jivadaya, friendly with all living entities. Namaruchi, attachment to the Lord's name. Vaishnava Seva, devotees association, serving the devotees. Like that. Yeah, Parikshit Maharaj also inspiring this only. True devotees aspiration should be like that. Yeah. Anyone has any comments or questions or anything to add?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
in one of the purports it is said that we have to associate with the one who is liberated. So why is it given like one who is situated in Brahman, Mataji? Because that is a stage of impersonalism, no Mataji?
Not Brahman. Liberated means someone who is actually not having any lamentation, not having any desires, not trying to see everybody equally. So a person who is in a Brahmabhuta stage, I mentioned because that's where they don't have any inhibitions to anything in this material world. They're not attached to anything. They are sthita prajna, like that. So we have to associate with people, like-minded people, where you can progress in your bhakti. Yeah. If you want to become, if you want to get some nice position in your company, you make friendship with the people who have got those kind of skill sets, and then those rapport you develop where you can get some references and where you can get some help and get to there, right? It's like that, someone who is in a liberated stage will be able to help you to reach to the Lord quickly, rather than someone who is still struggling and not able to, understand and still having on bodily platform and attached like that. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Got it. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, this is a comment, Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
You said that we should not even get attached to devotional service.
Yeah.
Yes, but sometimes Mataji, see now when we are doing this deity worship, we do abhishek, we offer flowers, then we make bhoga, all this when you keep on doing, there's a little attachment comes in the mind. So is that not correct, Mataji?
It is good. Attachment is good, but only thing is that, okay, attached to only doing that is not good.
Which way? Which way? Can you explain a little more?
Yeah, see, sometimes, let's say now you are able to do that. After certain stage in your life, you may not be able to do it on a regular basis like that.
Yeah.
And then you feel bad that you are not able to do that. So better get attached to the holy name rather than deity. Attachment is always good for our consciousness, but how long you can do it with perfection and with dedication, right?
Yeah.
So in that note, I said, so don't get attached. So let's say you have your own deity you're worshipping. Yeah, you get attached to that. That's okay, no problem. But
that automatically just comes a little feeling, that automatically, not too much, a little bit. We are not so elevated. We are still conditioned.
Of course, definitely, Mataji. I do totally agree that attachment definitely comes. Yeah. So mainly, as per the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, attachment should holy name.
I can't hear you, Mataji.
Attachment should be on the holy name, mainly based on the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Attachment should be mainly on the holy name. So
yeah, that is chanting, no, Mataji. That we are doing in the Brahma Murta. We are doing that.
Yeah. So how much attachment we have on chanting? Only until we finish 16 round, right? After that, no attachment, done for the day.
Yeah, on certain days we do extra, certain days.
Yeah,
you are right,
yeah, but of course, naturally, deity worship is something naturally everyone get attracted. Everyone is no man.
Yeah,
yes,
Mother, not only me, but anybody, even when they have Laddu Gopal, they keep on doing that love, a little bit develops.
Yeah, so this is the purification for our consciousness, but there should be a lot of cleansing should happen, no?
Yeah.
So that will happen with holy name only.
Okay. So we should go beyond 16 rounds, that means.
Yeah, give more time to your chanting, your sadhana, reading, shastra. You will get to know more Krishna. So say in Kali Yuga, Krishna says what? Kali Santarpana Upanishad says what? Kaler doshe nide raja asti yukto mahaguna, right? Kirtane dasya Krishnasya mukta sangha param rajet, right? And then what is that? Kriteya dhyayato Vishnum Tetaya dhyayato yajato make dvapare paricharyayam kalotad dari kirtanat, right? Sankirtan yajna is prescribed for this Kali Yuga, right? So deity worship is not prescribed. So we might do, but after certain stage in our life, we won't be able to do like how we are doing now.
Then what do we do later?
Yeah, that's a big question mark. What do we do later? It has to be done in the same standard how you are doing it. It has to be passed on to your next generations. They should be able to do it. Not do it. If they are not able to do it, means it's a big, a big problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you can give her to a devotee.
Yeah, you can give a devotee. That's right. But what I'm trying to say is that if attachment develops in the stage when you are, still there but not able to do it and giving to a devotee, and then your attachment will not stop like that, right? So attachment to particular form or deity is nothing wrong in it, but as in when you progress with your age, that feeling that you are not able to do it will stay in your heart. Yeah. So when you try to develop your taste in chanting, then you can do anywhere, anytime, no time, place, circumstance, right? So deity worship, not that you shouldn't do it, but yeah, need to be very careful how we are developing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Shanti Mataji. You have a doubt, Mataji? Hare Krishna, Mataji. Why is always Yukta Vairagya is confused, Mataji? In 2 days back, we had a class, Mataji, wherein Prabhuji taught us we have to uh, progress in bhakti, we should become more and more simple, and we should become Vairagis also. We should. So why is it like that, Mataji? In Krishna consciousness, what is taught is initially is that we can use everything in the service of the Lord, because we have been we are in the material world and we see so many things around us. We are not able to come simply reject everything, Mataji. We can't do that also. So how can we progress, Mataji? Is that it is okay that we can practice Yukta Vairagya like this, or we should progress giving up everything, Mataji? Is it
No,
only a
giving
stage?
up. Yeah, what your question, if I understand, is that without understanding the Yukta Vairagya principle, giving up is not possible. You can't give up. You can't give up. That's false renunciation. Falgo Vairagya. You can't give up unless you know that, okay, you have a desire and then you are not able to give up, then that's okay. You have it rather than renouncing it. It's not going to work out. You have to cross that stage where you can give up and then able to use it in Krishna service. It's developing your further enhancing your heart. Say that you that it has to be like a big heart. You have to do that. Sacrificing certain things for the pleasure of the Lord is not easy. But if you're not able to do it, don't force yourself. But again, when you keep in association of the devotees who are doing it, you learn and then you will get that. See, when Prabhupada always says this example, right? Then iron rod is put into fire, it will catch fire, right? It will become hot, isn't it? So,
yes, Mataji.
Like that, when we are not able to do certain things, we should learn to do those things in the association of the devotees who are practicing it. So you are like an iron rod and they are like a fire. And then after some years of practice, you will learn how to do it. So initially, your mind is not accepting, you won't be able to do it. Got my point, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, because that day many other Matajis also had this question, Mataji, how we go to the temple. Many Matajis said that we want to dress up nicely and go to the temple. But it is not possible that we go in very with minimalistic dressing with the and going to the temple. It is not possible now, Mataji. So we want to dress up well. So we can do it now. As a Yukta Vairagi, we can do it and practice, and slowly only we can come to that stage where we can renounce.
Don't force anything upon you.
Then it becomes Falgu.
Yeah, it has to come inherently from your inside your heart, and you should not suppress yourself to show something to others. You should be genuine, be what you are. So then that's okay. If you dress up, there's nothing wrong in it. Yeah, but when you associate with pure devotees, slowly your inclinations will change, and that's another beauty when you dress deities or when you worship deities. You will lose taste in your own dressing up and decorating.
Thank you so much.
You always think about that is another thing where you can learn worshiping deities. Attachment to deities is good in that way, so that you develop being simple. You want everything very low and you want everything high for the Lord, best for the Lord, the best for the Lord. That you can develop.
Not by force we should renounce anything, no, Mataji. So that is the essence, no, Mataji.
Yeah, you can't renounce. No, you can't. You have to experience it. You want to feel it, okay. You can't say that, okay, I don't want this now big bungalow or whatever Lord has given it. I'll go and live in a poor hut. You can't say that.
Thank you so much.
Won't be able to live there in a one moment also. The main point is that practicing Krishna consciousness wherever you are. Some people can stay like that and do it. Some people can't. Your consciousness is what matters a lot. But Prabhupada always says that simple living, high thinking. So when you keep your lifestyle simple, you will not waste much time in maintaining it. That is important.
Thank you,
Because
Mataji. Very wonderfully explained. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hope it helps all of us. Hare Krishna. Others also. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Pranams to you. Mataji,
Shanti.
there are no more questions, Mataji. Mataji had raised for reading, Mataji. Raised her.
Oh, is it? Okay, okay. That's okay.
Okay,
Thank you
Mataji.
so much, Matajis, for tolerating me and allowing me to share whatever I
No,
understand.
Mataji, it was very nice, Mataji. Very
Very
nice.
Thank you,
Nice class,
Mataji, for the
Mataji.
nice,
Hare
nice
Krishna.
class.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank
Wonderful
you.
explanation, Mataji. Thank you so much. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you. Vanchakal
Thank you.
Jai kripa sindhu jai
Eva Chapatita
pranam pavane
Bhavadebhyo
vaishnavevo
Vaishnavebhyo
namo
Namo
namaha.
Namaha.
Jagannatha Koti Vaishnavinda ki
Ki
jai.
Jai.
Srila
Srila
Prabhupada ki
Prabhupada
jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Srimad
jai.
Bhagavatam Ki Jai.
Ki jai.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Mataji.
much,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Pranam. Thank you,
Krishna
Mataji.
Pranam
Hare
Mataji. Hare Krishna.